All right, it's your boy Noto coming to you with another video, coming to you with another podcast, man. Today's podcast, we will be discussing what women actually find attractive in men. If you're new here or you've been here, go and click that like button, go ahead and comment, go and subscribe. Click that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I drop a video. And without further ado, let's go on and get into this video. So I found a video, a woman really like explaining what women actually find attractive in men. And guys, going to stay tuned and definitely going to learn some things. I'm going to make my commentary, and I like to hear it from the woman's perspective because those are the ones you're trying to attract, right? And for those guys that be like, "Oh, don't listen to what women say, bro," you should listen to what women say, but you still make your discernments as well. But like I say, just hear this out, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. And if I peep anything, then I'm gonna address it.
Things. Now, let's start off with number one. A woman wants a man who puts time, attention, and effort into his health and into his physical.
Which is true, definitely the truth.
Here, because listen, attraction is first and foremost based upon what we look like. We all have free will to decide. And for the men right now watching who feel insecure or feel depressed or shy in their own bodies, I want to ask you, what are you doing about it? Because for
Exactly. Hold up.
a lot of men,
Oh, damn. Exactly. So that's exactly what it is, guys. What are you doing about it? What are you going to do about it? That's the main thing, because when you're feeling uncomfortable about the way you look, you're feeling bad about how you're presenting yourself, your own presentation, then there has to be something wrong. So you got to definitely do something about it. But if you're not doing anything about it and you're expecting different types of results, what are you hoping to yield from these types of interactions? What are you hoping to yield when you go out? Like, what type of results are you planning on getting?
men who don't work out, don't take care of themselves, don't practice proper hygiene when it comes to spiritual hygiene, mental hygiene, physical hygiene. This is something.
But she didn't went kind of deep with that one, definitely. But if you don't do any of those things, like, the first thing is you have to care about yourself. You got to care about how you feel about yourself. The way you feel about yourself is going to reflect in the reactions that you're going to have outwardly. So how you feel inwardly is going to be a direct reflection of how you feel outwardly. So if you don't feel good about yourself inside and you're not doing anything to change anything about it, how you feeling inside and the way your outside is looking is just going to reflect that because you don't care about yourself. A lot of guys don't really like care about themselves.
Something that's actually going to be a repellent to women. Women want a man who not only can protect her, but also has the protector energy around her. This is something that not only should be important for you as a man to want to obtain, but also for women to desire. For generations, men did not have an excuse not to go out into the world and do hard work. And I think right now we live in a time of comfortability. So when you can
Definitely.
intentionally put yourself through discomfort, whether that be going to the gym, going for runs, bike rides, something that brings you a sense of joy and fulfillment because you're doing something that is pushing you past your limitations, but is
And like what she's talking about, hold up.
also providing you
Come on.
evidence.
And definitely, like what she's talking about, basically talking about taking care of yourself and actually engaging in activities that give you some type of mental stimulation, in a nutshell, pretty much. So doing things that really make you feel excited about yourself, but in turn, doing all these things are going to get you in better shape anyway. Those things are going to get you in better shape because you're out, you're active, you're actively trying to build muscle, you're actively doing physical activities. You see, like back then in the day, a lot of people did like manual labor type deal. So, and in turn, almost like forced them to be in a certain type of physical shape because that's the way you had to be in order to work that job. And these days, too, men still do have physically demanding jobs, and they have to be at a certain physical level, have to be at a certain level of mobility to be able to complete their task at these workplaces. So, like having this type of just having a body, a vehicle that is capable of just doing multiple things, whether it's being having fun or making your bread, it's just paramount, and in turn will attract women because it shows that you can move and you can have fun, that you're mobile, you have mobility, and you're actually strong with it. You're actively seeking it out. That's definitely a thing that I've noticed women do like to see when a man is able to move around, able to express himself in like physical manners, like just watching a man having fun, watching a man kayaking and stuff. I can tell, like, women like to see men doing physical activity. It does something to them.
Of what investment looks like into your life, it will physical appearance. So yeah, work out. It's really plain and simple, but a woman will find a man who works out and takes care of his body highly attractive in the short term, in the long term, for he is someone who doesn't put himself second and does not allow a weak mind to dictate his state of being as well as the body he is in. We all have the capability to boost our attraction with things that do require hard work. So if you
Definitely. And those things that require hard work means getting your behind in the gym, means caring about your appearance, guys. It's just plain and simple. You care about yourself, more people will care about you. It's just the way the world works. If people see that you take care of yourself, they're just going to in turn be treated better as a person, and not even just with just attracting women, but in society and within the world, period. When people see that you treat your body a certain type of way and that you hold your body to a certain standard and you control what you eat and you have discipline within your life to that degree, it's displaying in your physical appearance. That says a big thing about you before you even speak to anybody. When people see you, they automatically know that, yeah, that took work. They see that immediately.
if you can start implementing a workout regimen, a routine that not only nourishes you in the physical ways, but like taking care of yourself with healthy foods, proper nutrition, good quality sleep, that is a well-rounded human being that has something to offer and that knows what it means to face a challenge, which
Definitely. Um, Especially when you implement in those types of things as well, like you'll draw people that want to do the same thing for themselves, but probably don't know how to do it. So even when it's coming to attracting women, I've had chicks that actually like reach out to me and they're just attracted to my lifestyle around fitness and around the things that I eat, the things that I show that I'm eating, and how I'm building muscle, and when I'm doing my cuts and stuff, like they're just following the journey and they're like drawn to that. Women that see me at the gym, they're like, okay, dang, how you do this? I mean, how you do about you're looking slimmer and stuff like that. So that really just draws people into you. And that in turn will have them asking you for advice type deal, and you can in turn being able to teach a woman some things, because women are attracted to knowledge. They're definitely attracted to knowledge, especially if it pertains to something that they're trying to learn how to do themselves and they quite don't have the handle on it like that. So if you're actually able in a good position and you're actually actively doing the thing that she wants to do, and you're doing the thing that she is like chasing, the type of goal, especially when it comes to like fitness and the physical appearance, especially, that's a big thing that's widespread. That's worldwide right there. You're never going to have chicks that aren't worried about their physical appearance. So a woman is that sees you taking care of yourself and wants to come and talk to you. She basically wants to learn some things from you. Even if she finds you attractive, even if she's trying to hit on you, somewhere down the line, that conversation about health and fitness is going to come up, and you're going to be able to provide that knowledge because you're living that. It's just plain and simple. When you're living that type of lifestyle and you're going about it day after day, and it got to the point where and that will draw them to you as well, because not only are you knowledgeable about the situation, but you're actually implementing it into your life.
which innately women want a man who can face a challenge. This is in our makeup to desire that type of man for our own safety. Now, yes,
And definitely with the challenge thing as well, they do like a guy that can take on a challenge. But the thing is, and with the US having a big obesity rate, as in like it just skyrocketing, it's getting more and more each year. the to be able to keep weight off and to be able to actually be in shape is becoming more and more rare as time goes on. So the fact that you are able to face that challenge, especially if she's seen you change, like a lot of women that have been on like on my social medias, probably like back in the day, or have had interactions with me, have really watched my journey because I told you guys before I've lost over 120 pounds. So they've seen me change and they've seen me make that drastic change, and that's definitely a challenge. Weight loss in itself is a worldwide challenge. Even across seas and stuff, people are starting to like face obesity challenges, like in China and all this other stuff, like other places in Southeast Asia, other regions and stuff like that. So that's definitely becoming a worldwide problem, and with obesity, and something that I've done big like that, actual able to lose 120 pounds, that is going to draw in a lot of people. And seeing how I'm looking versus then versus now, that is definitely a big challenge that I have overcome. And that will in turn will attract a lot of women just to want to know, like, dang, that was very, they admire that. That's admirable. That's something that they can look up to. That's something that they can see. Okay, you did that. You know what you're doing. So whatever, even if you don't know have that much advice, or you're not that savvy, or you're not exactly like um hip to fitness, or you don't know the vernacular or something like that when it comes to like talking about fitness and the terms or the terminology, and all that type of stuff, like the book smarts type of stuff, but you just kind of know a certain type of lifestyle that led you to that event, that'll be enough right there. You don't have to sound like one of these science-based fitness gurus or fitness influencers or something like that in order to give her advice. She might just want to see what your lifestyle might be like, or just ask you a couple tips, and it don't have to sound intellectually inclined or something like that. It doesn't sound like you have like a bachelor's degree in kinesiology or something like that, or a doctor's degree, whatever it is.
Yes, we live in different times, but you should still have the desire to be your best self. And that's first and foremost by taking care of yourself. So I wanted to start here. Second to that is a man who has self control. Self control for a
Mm.
woman is huge because that indicates her long term safety. A man
Oh
who
yeah.
has no self control over himself will not show a level of control over the type of life he lives, the type of life he allows, the
Mm.
type of life he is creating. And a woman does not want to be stuck with a man who not only blames outside things, outside circumstances, and a woman does not want to be with a man who shows no self control within his life. And this can look like no control over his choices within his sexual energy. This could look like a man lusting over women on Instagram, porn.
Definitely, I've specific thing too, the self control things, and I've noticed that, and I used to be one of those guys, and especially when I was in my phases when I was complaining, and it was always somebody else's fault. It was always everything else's fault, my environment's fault, the circumstances that I'm in's fault. I just blamed everything except for looking at the man in the mirror, and it reflected in my behavior when I used to get around Chase, and it used to be a turnoff because I used to always be complaining about things, talking about stuff, talking about the little problems I had all the time. And the thing about it, like it comes off as a buzzkill when you're talking about that type of stuff, and you don't have control over the things that you're trying to change in your life. And really, especially if it's self-sabotage and this type of deal, I know there's certain things you probably don't have control over, but things that you have control over and you're like literally self-sabotaging, and you're displaying that to the person that you're involved with, the woman that you're involved with, and that can come as a huge turnoff. Like you don't have self control over yourself, especially when I see the guys that be on these Facebook posts. I see it to this day. These guys just hearting and just being extremely perverted under these women's like posts, and posts of women that they're never going to meet, they're never going to have interactions with, women that they're not even the women that they're literally simping over don't even run those pages. Those aren't even the woman's real profiles. So they're simping under a bot account of the woman. So they don't even have enough self control of that. Talking about, oh, what can I pay your rent? What's your cash app and stuff like that. Like seeing stuff like that, that's a turn off because it could be women that is watching that can see one of these. And if you think they can't see one of those types of posts, you're sadly mistaken because it'll show the people, especially if they're friends with you, like in those viral posts you think you can hide up in there. What the algorithm will do, it'll put the people that are your friends, they'll show your replies first because you have the most in common with them because you're friends with those people or you follow those people or whatever. You have some type of association with them. So they're gonna see your comments when you're saying those little stuff about the chicks and you under there praising and raving about a chick twerking and all that other stuff. Okay, it's gonna come off as like try hard. It's gonna come off as needy. It's gonna come off as okay, this guy's like a creep. Like really. So it's definitely a thing I see that's really rampant. And I'd be like, dang, these guys are still doing that. I used to be the one of those types. I had to snap out of that too. So I'm not just saying that like I'm just impervious to this, like I've never done it or something like that. But trust me, it's just not a good look overall.
Porn, when he's in a relationship, having no self control over his urges. This could look like a man who indulges in fast food or alcohol or drugs. This
Definitely was my case too, especially when I was like at my heaviest. And you just never know like how it could be. Like when I was at my heaviest, I had a definite fast food addiction for the most part. I was always ordering out fast food. I was always going to the little rib. It was like a food truck and it had like some of the best ribs. I used to eat about a full rack of ribs about every other day. My diet was in the ringer. It wasn't about jack. Where I'm talking about like just I was drinking regular pop then. Like I'm talking about straight from the 2 liter soda. I'm talking about orange 2 liter Fanta. I'm just sitting there drinking out of it like it's just a picture of Kool-Aid or something like that. So that was I was washing it down with that, and I was just doing that. I never had no type of structure when it came to my diet. I was just eating whatever I could get my hands on at that point, and I was balling at that point too. So on top of having a whole bunch of money, and I just had access to those food places all the time. I had no control over that, and on top of that, I had a drinking problem as well. So I was drinking liquor back to back. That's back when I had my alcohol addiction. I'm definitely like 3 years, something like sober now. So I'm not really counting the days like that, but I'm glad that I've definitely been delivered from that, that I've gotten over that addiction as well. And I speak about that in my other addiction channel. I have a channel talk called Noto Addiction that for anybody that's probably ever been through that type of stuff. But getting back to the point that yeah, you not having control over your alcohol, that can definitely ruin a lot of your relationships. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It ruined a lot of them for me in particular because when I got drunk, I turned into a whole entire different person, and the reflection of my character and my whole footprint with a whole bunch of people. My impression that I made on a lot of people was just a bad impression, especially a lot of first impressions. A lot of people to this day still don't mess with me because of the things that I've done, not having self control while I was being drunk. And that's not attractive to women either, because when I was out and I was just being drunk and just going around and being in everybody's face, that just came off as unattractive. Just gotta go up and messing with chicks talking all drunk and stuff. Now it worked sometimes. I had my times when, you know, it worked, but I'm talking about for overall and just being out in public and seeing how people would observe you just walking around just a aimless drunk all the time. And that's what I was. You see what I'm saying? On top of being extremely overweight, because right after those, I'll go straight to the Waffle House. That'd be the only thing open after you leave the club, and just fill up and all the calories that I burnt out probably on the dance floor, walking around and being in everybody's face, on top of the liquid calories from the alcohol and as well. So it's just not a good look, bro. The self control thing is a real thing, bro. And if you have a damper on that, it shows it's a reflection in your presentation that you show to the women, and they see that you got control of that. I'm not saying that you got to quit drinking or nothing like that. I'm not saying that you don't have to eat fast food at all, but depending on what type of impact it has on your life, you just have to be real with yourself on it. Like if it's way out of control and it's messing up your physical presentation and it's really like messing your interactions up and it's making people not want to be around you, you definitely need to do a self evaluation.
This could look like a man who has no control over his reactions, his emotions, his triggers. And within a man who shows a woman that he can't control himself, a woman will never be able to look up and respect her man or ever be able to trust his leadership.
Definitely. You can't trust your leadership if you can't even control yourself. You can't even control your own temper. Like a lot of hot headed guys, I noticed that chicks don't really like being out in public with them. They'll be like, "Oh, here we go again." Like they like being with the guy because they like the guy, but they don't like being out when problems about to start or his temper is always just messing up. It's always like a big problem with everything. They like other things about the guy, but it's to the point where the temper is just overshadowing everything that she sees that's good about the guy. So with no control over your temper, no control over how you act and your reactions to situations can definitely be a big turnoff. But having control of those and being able to and keep your composure, even in times of trials and stuff like that, that is definitely something they pay attention to, and they actually respect that. They can be like, dang, he could have done this, he could have done that, but you know what? He handled this situation in a mature fashion. So in turn, made things way better. Things could have went to a whole nother realm when it came to that, but he actually handled himself, and to a certain level of candor in reflection of his in the reflection of the way he carries himself, and that's something that's extremely respectable when it comes to a woman, how she views a man.
A man who doesn't have self control will not have self esteem over himself, for he is victimized usually by the circumstances he is choosing, whether he's
Oh yeah,
conscious of it or not. A
that's a definite thing too, because a lot of guys, they'll not have no self-esteem, and it's usually because of all those other things that I've mentioned before. They don't have self-esteem because of the way they look in the reflection of their physical representation when they look in the mirror, and when people observe them, they're not getting the results they want from women because they know that they're not at their optimal version of themselves and not even going toward moving in that optimal version of themselves. They see the people in the gym, and earlier, I ain't gonna lie, I seen this guy. It was a really really fat guy, and it was a guy walking out of the gym, and he was like, "Oh, you trying to go in there?" Oh, he was like, oh no, I'm not trying to go in there." I was like, "Oh dang." Like it wasn't me, but I seen the interaction like through the windows, and I was like, "Dang, you never know." Like these type of people might want to just stay away, but they know the elephant in the room. And walking past the gym when you're like extremely overweight, it's just like it's a reality check, but you're just trying to ignore. But deep down, you know that elephant in the room is staring at you in the face, and you know it. And this guy like had a huge gut. I'm talking about to the point where he was waddling. He had to walk. He was just a round, extremely round looking guy, extremely round looking guy, almost like some Faison Love type round type of guy. Real stubby type dude, bowling ball type belly and all kind of stuff, bro. Like it's just crazy. So I'm pretty sure his self esteem isn't that good. He didn't even want to look at the gym. He actually wanted to walk past and just kept his head straight because he didn't want to look inside and face what he really needs to be. And to be honest, like little signs like that, um, when the guy walked out and asked him if he was coming in, might be a trigger to be like, dang, maybe I do need to go and hit the gym. He might be thinking about it back then. He might not even go that day. He might not go that week, might not go that month, but deep down he gonna be thinking about like, dang, maybe I need to go and hit the gym, man. I'm not looking my best, and look at how this going. But at the end of the day, it don't click the same for everybody, and you have to want that change. And your self esteem ain't gonna get no better unless you change the way the man looks in the mirror. That's just the way it works.
man who can take control over his life is a great long term partner that women can look up to and trust in the long term. Number three is being a gentleman. A woman does desire a man with a heart and with
Now, for the before the guys go over here and try to be like, oh man, women don't like gentlemen. Oh, you preaching pure sympatry and all that stuff, bro. This like hear this out, bro, because it's not really that big of a deal, and depending on what you want out of the situation and what you're doing it for is what really matters more so than the actions itself. Because people will be like, oh, holding the door for the woman and doing like gentleman type of things and actually doing things that are just nice gestures to the woman that you're out with is seen as simping these days. And it's not really about it being simping, but I'm gonna get back into it as she goes on with it.
actual kindness and not to get confused with being a nice guy but being a good man.
Exactly. She went on and said it, but like I said, and before she even gets into this, I'm gonna say that the actions, it's about the action. It's like about what you're doing the actions for, and with a combination of who the actions are coming from. If she sees you as a guy that she's attracted to, and she get butterflies or whatever, then those actions are going to be seen as sympatry and in combination with, if you're not trying to be the guy that's doing these gentleman actions and like probably bringing flowers or any little thing like that, even little small gestures, if you're not doing it under the guise of trying to make her more attracted to you, then okay, yeah, you're just doing it just as a nice gesture, but you're not doing it in exchange for her to like you more, then those are two totally different things. A guy bringing a woman flowers or opening the door for her and hoping that, well, I hope she likes me after I do this, that's simping because you're trying to give something in exchange for something. But if you're just giving it to her, you're like, okay, man, I'm just gonna give it to her because it's cool or whatever. I don't care if she really like me or not. It's not about that. I just wanted to be cool, just want to be nice. So I just wanted to do something. And you're not really expecting nothing from it. You don't really care if she like you more about it or not. Then that's the mindset you need to be in with that. But even though guys would be like, look at that action. I'm not bringing a chick up flowers. I'm not gonna open the door for her and all that. You guys are getting like extremely too red pilled, guys. You're really doing too much when it comes to this. It's not really that serious. Like, remember this. If you don't remember nothing else, remember this. It's about who it comes from and the reason that you're doing the action. When those two things are clearly understood, then you'll be in the right territory. But if you're doing anything and you feel like you're doing it for her to like you, that's her in exchange for her attraction to you. That's when it's something, because that's when and you're putting yourself at an inconvenience. You're inconveniencing yourself, and you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position. You're putting yourself at the mercy of whether her attraction will raise for you or not. If you're just doing a nice gesture out of just, okay, I'm just cool. Okay, she seems like a cool chick, whatever. I'm just gonna be nice or whatever. That's cool. That's not being a nice guy, and that's not being weak. If you doing it, other the guys, okay, I just want to do it. Okay, that's fine. I don't care if she like me more about this or not. She can leave right now if I do this. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? If you under that type of impression, that's cool. But if you're hoping and you walking on eggshells, like, okay, damn, hope she like me, then that's simple. It's just plain and simple.
A woman wants to be able to know that her man is not only good to her, but can be good to perhaps their future children or to other
Hmm.
people's children, to the waiters, to the staff that you
That right
guys
there,
interact
that is a
with. The
big thing
ways
as well. Especially like, of course, with the children thing, that's a bit like far, especially thinking like far ahead and all that. But yeah, they do think about that as well, especially when it comes to physical attraction, like who they might want to have kids with and stuff like that. That is part of the primal, um, that is part of the primal thought process that they go through when they feel and when they're observing a man that looks stronger and more capable. Of course, they would want to produce his offspring, produce his seed for the most part. So I'm not gonna like cancel that out. But we're not really thinking about all that, especially when it comes to the first interactions and all that. That's like further down the line type deal. But the being nice to waiters and stuff, that's definitely a big thing for me, especially when it comes to a chick. Because I used to deal with this chick, well, still kind of dealing with a chick that's still that she's not necessarily nice with the waitresses and people that's in position cashier or something, you treating them like, oh yeah, get that bag, you do that, like you command them or something. Those people are earning a living the same way that you are. And even if you are a rich person, you still not supposed to just look down upon somebody just making an honest living. That's just some BS for real. That's definitely BS, and it says a lot about a person's character if they talk down to people that's actually um, in these employment positions, and they talking down to the employees in the establishments and stuff like that. So I'll definitely feel on that, because that's definitely attractive to show that you have actually kindness, that you know how to treat people, that you know how to interact with people and treat people with respect. That is a big thing. That is a definite big thing. Like being a hole to waitresses and trying to treat them like they're the help and like they at your bend and wheel and command and stuff. That is extremely unattractive, and it makes you. It says a lot about your character, and it's not good.
Ways that you treat people are truly a reflection of how you treat yourself. And if there is neglect, if there is unhealthy dominance, or a sense of toxic control over people, these will be reflections on your behalf of your quality of life within yourself. And I think this is really important because, for a woman to desire a gentleman, it does require a man to feel like a man. And a man can only be a gentleman when a woman treats him like a man. And for a lot of women, they have an issue.
And for guys to be like, oh, how she gonna tell a man how to be a man and stuff like that, guys, it's like, don't really go too far with that, bro. Don't try to get too deep into that. Oh, she trying to tell a man how to be a man. It's like, especially for the guys that's always trying to find something to nitpick about when it comes to the videos. That's why a lot of these guys have so many problems now. They take a small little comment like this or what she's saying, and about how the woman finds respect in the man and stuff like that, how she views the man and what she just said, pretty much. They'll take that and run with it. Like, oh, she talking about you can't tell a man how to be the man, but no, a man feels more like a man when people are respecting him. Period. You know what I mean? So it's within himself. He respects himself, but he also wants the world to respect him as well. Because a person that respects himself wants the people that are involved with him or the people that he has interactions with to respect him as well. That's just a it's more of a confirmation of how he treats himself. So he puts out energy. He puts out energy into the world, and he puts energy into himself. He works on himself. He expects to be relayed that same type of respect and energy that he puts into himself from the environment that he comes across. So whether that be the women he's getting involved with or the people that he interacts with on a daily basis. So even if she say that, okay, yeah, he feel like more of a man, and when the woman respects him and stuff like that, that's not really that big of a deal, guys. Don't try to get too far into that. Like, oh, it's not dictated with that. She's not talking about masculinity as a whole and all that. So for you nitpicker guys that be doing that, bro, is chill out on that. That's probably why you're having a lot of problems.
Issue, actually not emasculating a man over time because of the standards I feel like we as women now are holding up for our men to always be this masculine figure, the prince almost that's here to save us. For a woman's attraction to really be built on your ability to show her you're a good man by opening the doors, by getting dinners, by walking on the side of the street where the cars are, like all of these little things, they add up to a woman. And these are things, the simple things that
And for guys that's ready to just go at her about it, like, oh, doing these things, and she sees that as masculine or whatever. Women like things. Women like when a man's just doing gentleman gestures. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem with that is a lot of those guys do gentleman gestures to women that don't find them attractive and aren't interested in them and are there for a whole nother reason as opposed to the reason that they think that they're there for. That's why a lot of men have problems doing the gentleman thing, and that's not me just bashing men. It's just the truth. It's the truth. Because, like I told you guys, I tell you this, guys, all the time. It's not about the actions itself. It's a combination between why you're doing the actions and who the actions are coming from. If the woman sees you as a very attractive man and know you're doing these actions and you're not coming off as you're trying to do it in your own mind, you know that you're not feeling bad about doing this. Oh, dang, like, I felt like I'm doing this for her to like me. And if you're not getting that feeling when you do stuff, then you good, because you're going to be operating in your own principles. If you don't feel like it's wrong and you chilling and you dealing with for a chick that really genuinely interested in you, and you can feel that as the interactions go on, because if a chick's not interested in you, she's not going to be fun to be around. So not only will the actions that you're doing be questionable, it'll be questionable just being around her, period. So it's nothing wrong with doing gentleman things. It's just a lot of guys be doing these types of things, trying to convince a woman to like them, as opposed to just dealing with chicks that actually like them. And the reality check is, for the guys that aren't even improving upon their physical appearance, they're trying to date outside of their league. That's what it really is. They're trying to date outside of their league, and they haven't earned the type of chicks that they are trying to go after because they ain't put the work in for themselves. They want a certain look or image for a chick and think that they deserve that just because they just get the money and do all that. Now they can buy a chick, but it's not going to be under the same type of umbrella. You're just really just going to be renting the chick. That's not respect. That's just transaction. That's just business. Okay, we do this. As long as you do this, then okay, I'll act a certain way. So you're really just buying. You're just renting a chick. You're paying. You're paying for her attention. You're paying for her cooperation. It's different between when she respects you as a man, and respect, you have respect for you because you respect yourself by only dealing with her and dealing with her because she finds you genuinely attractive, as opposed to you trying to buy her and purchase her cooperation. It's a difference. Women do not respect men that try to buy their cooperation. Now they'll play like they find that man attractive. They'll play, they'll feed and stroke his ego. Okay, you cool, yeah, because their needs are getting met. It's a transactional thing, so they're gonna play their parts. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's no different from a woman just going to get a script and getting hired by a production company. And okay, you're here to do this, and in exchange for this pay, you're gonna read this script and you're gonna act this out, and this is how you act. This is basically what it is, but it's not real respect. They can love their craft. Yeah, the craft of playing dudes there, they can love that. But if you're gonna allow a chick to play you and you want a chick that's in your vicinity that's playing you, then how do you feel about yourself as a man? The men don't want to talk about that. They want to just lead with the wallet, and they want to say, "Oh, this is what a real man does." No, they're just trying to justify it because they don't want to put in the work to make themselves better. See, when things are hard to do, people want to make excuses of why the easier route, well, they perceived easier route is the better way because they get it quicker. Oh, I get it quicker if I pay the chick. But that's not that's not respectful for yourself. You're disrespecting yourself because you're giving a woman money in exchange for her cooperation. And that's not real genuine attraction. That's not real genuine interaction. And you wonder why things go haywire when you're not doing things and they treat you any kind of way. Like when you see these guys like relationships that's be buying a chick, you really see how they really treat these guys behind closed doors. Now, some of them they'll be good when they want a handbag or want some other stuff, but when you see the whole complete dynamics of the situation, now some women that play it real good, like they down. Some of them are just like Grammy, I mean whatever awarded um action, I mean actors or whatever award that is, the Emmy award actors, whatever they won for the acting and stuff like that. Some of them are nominated or are world class type of deal, and they will keep that act up for a while. But rest assured, it's definitely dynamics at play.
that women remember. A lot of women do want to feel like, a princess. And I know sometimes women can really take that a little too far. But a man wants to be good to a woman, and a woman wants to be good to a man. It's just a matter of what is getting in the way of that. And
Mm.
usually it's ourself. So for a man to really feel like a man, there has to be that gentleman quality that women respect and desire within the man. Not only that, the woman will be able to show a man the appreciation he is seeking when it comes to.
And like, okay, when it comes to a man being a man, it really just have to be confident within himself and holds true to his own principles. It's not really have anything to do with a woman per se. But I see what she's getting at when it comes to she's referring it to dating. But in order for a man to be a man, you just have to be good with who you are and hold strong to your principles and just stand on what you believe in. And that's really what makes a man. And just go about it and make yourself the best version that you can. And that in turn means that you respect yourself as a man. So you can't be a man if you don't have respect in yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I don't say that you're not a. I'm gonna say you're not like a real man if you don't have respect in yourself. You don't respect your own principles, and you just let people walk over you, and you keep on compromising your principles in order for somebody else to feel comfortable and all that. No, yeah, that's not what a real man does. A real man stands on his principles, no matter what they are, and no matter who likes it. That's what I would define as a real man in my definition. Really, I feel like that really is the real definition. If you standing on your principles, and you're unshakable on what you believe in, and caring about yourself and having respect for yourself, That's that's just pretty much all the makings of what a real man needs. All that other stuff, like the masculine and over masculine stuff, the hyper masculine and all that stuff, that's really extra. Because I know a lot of people that hold strong to who they are and what they believe in, and they're realer men than these hyper masculine guys that try to portray that they're something, but will get shaken whenever controversy comes around. It's really just a big front.
To being fulfilled in his masculinity is acknowledgement for his greatness, acknowledgement for his efforts. And this is not only such a beautiful way for the attraction to build, but actually what is necessary for attraction to be there. Beyond just the physical appearance is the character and the integrity and the energy of your guys' relationship dynamic. And for a woman to be able to build her attraction to you, there needs to be that soft spot within you for her. And a lot of men get scared of letting their guard down to the women because they have to portray this masculine figure that has no emotions or has little to zero emotions and has it all figured out. That can only get you so far with a woman, because a woman wants to see you. A woman wants to feel connected to a man more than anything.
Now, I do agree with them wanting to see you, but I don't agree with being over like vulnerable to the chick right then and there, especially in the beginning. It depends on what type of vulnerability you're talking about, like especially like nothing like extremely deep, but being comfortable and not trying to be acting like you're extra hyper masculine, like you have exactly zero emotions at all. Then yeah, they take the masculine frame thing too far. Like me, I got personality. I'll laugh and I'll joke, but at the same time, I'm a mode switcher. So when I'm serious, I'm serious. When I'm laughing, I'm laughing. But you just never know what to expect with me. I didn't have chicks where I didn't laugh with and I joke with, but I'm serious the next 5 minutes, the next instant I'm serious, and they know when I'm serious and they respect that. It's having that balance. So you don't have to walk around being, oh, I'm extra serious. She's not gonna respect me if I joke or laugh with her. But I know for a fact they will respect for me, or I will walk the hell off. I don't care. Like I say, when I'm serious, they know when I'm serious. When I'm joking, they know when I'm joking. And I got that whole thing just figured out. And that's just the way it is. They know they already know how to deal with me because I got personality. There's nothing wrong with having a personality with chicks. You got like, oh, I gotta hold my masculine front. I gotta be serious. Oh, I can't laugh. I can't do this, man. Y'all doing all that stuff, being stuck up and all that, bro. Enjoy yourself. Be yourself. You're your most comfortable person when you're being yourself. So if you are a naturally goofy person, I'm not saying actually be overly goofy or nothing, but it's nothing wrong with laughing, having a good time, and making jokes and actually being a person that like lets itself back and just relaxes and chill. But you understand you still keep a certain type of frame, but it doesn't have to be like an extra overly masculine brain. You see what I'm saying? You still can be a man without and have emotions and still do things and have them respect you at the same time while you're enjoying yourself. It's a regular human interaction. People really most switching all in most of the situations anyway, but it's just one guys they lead on one type of emotion for too long. Like if you overly jokey and you joking all the time and you don't find anything serious, then that could be problematic. You see what I mean? Because it's like nothing serious about you. But when you're like actually being able to, okay, she can see the serious side of you, she can see the funny side of you, she can see that type. Now that's the type of vulnerability I'm talking about, seeing like different types of your character and behavior and stuff like that, but still knows the boundaries of respect. She's not gonna try you just because you laughing. Okay, you laugh at a joke and stuff like that. She ain't finna come at you sideways because she know what's around that corner. You know what I'm saying? I ain't the one to be messed up with. So I already know what it is, and they already know what's gonna happen if they try me like that. They know not to try me like that. And if they try me like that, they're gonna get checked. It's just plain and simple. I don't give a damn if I'm laughing, I'm doing anything. It's just the type of man I am. So if a man talking about coming around, and I've dealt with overly masculine guys who seeing me laughing and try to act like that, but they found out quick that I don't play either. You see what I'm saying? So it's about balance and being able to conduct yourself in certain situations. So for these over masculine guys and try to act like, oh, you got to be extra serious all the time, it's BS.
And just for a man, he wants his freedom more than anything. And I think connection and freedom are inherently one of the same. To feel connected to not only your partner or to this world, there has to be the freedom to choose who you desire that with. And within freedom, freedom will always long for a connection to something. And I think for a man and a woman, this is such a beautiful reflection for one another to find the freedom within your guys' connection
Mm.
and what that can bring forth. And I think for a man to be able to listen to a woman without giving, unsolicited advice is actually just being able to be that mountain for her, to hold her waves, to just see her in her pain, in her whatever she's going through.
And that, and guys, like, for guys to be like, oh, you should never do this with a woman, because I know it's videos out there saying this is one of the things you should never do with a woman, like sharing emotional types things and listen to what she's saying and all that. But it's important to do these types of things because, one, you can discern what trauma she might have, and you can figure out certain things about her. So you just let her talk and see what she's talking about. If she's talking about like situations that probably bothered her probably in the past, but if it's pertaining to like a dude, that's something that you can watch out for. But how would you know if you never let her go into it? So you need to start talking about things, and it's nothing wrong with sharing, like her sharing emotions with you, or you might share a story with her and stuff like that. But it depends on what it is, and it depends on it depends on what it's really about. Like, I'm not saying like go on deep and sea bass and sit up there and like cry with the chick and all that stuff. I'm not saying doing all that, especially in the beginning stages. Or I don't really advocate for doing that at all. Really, I'm not really with the crying thing. Just keeping it a buck. But if she does that with you and she feels comfortable enough to open herself up to you, that's a really good thing. And the fact that you can be a good listener, chick really does like a good listener, and actually being able to help her out with whatever situation, and provide some type of comfort. That doesn't make you soft. That just makes you observant. That makes you a person that she can